of faith is disturbing.
Believe it.
What's going on, Geeks? Listen to episode 407 of the Geeks Under Grace podcast. My name is Cody Armour. I'm here with Jonathan Nicholson.
What's up?
This week we're geeking out about Battlefield leaks, A21 movies, and the Powerpuff Girls. I wish I could do that voice better. Definitely can't. Especially with the allergies going on that I got going on right now.
Yeah, the plants are trying to kill us.
Yeah. I'm from South Dakota originally. I moved to Colorado. And I would have like a little bit of allergies. But the allergies in Arkansas are just really rough.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you feel like you have the flu. And it's just pollen. It's just a flower. Blooming.
Yeah, it's rough. It's so bad that people basically get vaccinated for allergies here. Like they go and they get injected with all sorts of stuff just to try to survive the spring.
Yeah. And then like literally, the honey game is real on point here. Everyone's eating local honey to get their pollen counts in. It's kind of a vaccine in its own way, I suppose. You're just going to ingest the pollen for a while.
I don't know if that actually works, but
I have no idea.
yeah, oh well.
I know a lot of people do it.
I like honey, so it's worth a shot.
Yeah, totally. We'll get into the games we played. I've just been playing Grand Theft Auto, so I don't think I've played anything else. Yeah, so go for it.
Yeah, I've been playing 7 Days to Die. So
Okay. Nice.
Me and my little brother and one of my friends, we've started a new server. They keep changing stuff, so every time we go back, we don't know how to play. So it's
I
about
was like 7 Days to Die. I honestly don't know what that is. A zombie game?
yeah, so it's a zombie game where every 7 days there's a blood moon, and then the zombies get like super vicious and they attack your base, and you try to survive through the 7th night. And so it's like I kind of have it turned down right now because there were some issues with the last update that if you have it set the zombie spawn normal for that day, it would just like crash my computer, and it would like crash everyone's computers. So I have it turned down, so it's not as hard right now. I'm gonna slowly bump it up, but yeah, it could be like 200 zombies attacking your base all at once. It's so like
Dang.
yeah, that gets pretty intense. But they made some changes probably 3 updates ago. So used to, it had a traditional like RPG skill tree where you would like go, oh, I'm gonna learn how to make electric tools, or I'm gonna be a gunsmith, or I just want to specialize in melee weapons, and you could just unlock it. And then I don't know what kind of drugs the developers decided to do, but then they're like, hey, here's an idea. To level up and to learn skills, you have to find books. But it takes 200 books to unlock each thing. And so like you'll be looting for 3 real game sessions and not level up once because you can't find enough books. So
that sounds terrible.
It's fun. They've made some changes this last update. That's why we started playing it, where crates drop more books. So there's like supply crates that fall.
Okay.
And so you'll get like
a little bit easier.
Yeah, you'll get like a crate of books, and then you might get enough to get half a level. But so it's a lot of walking around with spears, poking zombies. Yeah.
Cool. I need to work on. There is a mod for Stardew Valley that would allow basically my computer to become a server. My character would like go to sleep when the end of the day happens, so that I don't lose anything. But it would allow other people to jump on whenever my computer is open and
Nice.
like the game's playing. And so we have a life group at our church, and the church part of this is more for the listeners, and we can play Stardew Valley together. And so I'm excited to do that. I just need to like get on and download the mod and do it. It actually would be super easy. I just haven't done it yet.
Allegedly, there is a cloud server service now for Stardew.
Oh.
I'm not sure how that
I
would.
would imagine it works the same way. You'd have a character that just didn't do anything. Would they?
Yeah. Makes me wonder.
Yeah, I'd have to look into it. I would be down with that too. It would be fun. I love Stardew. I love playing Stardew with a lot of people. I also need to get into Fields of Mystery again. It is March. I think I've got like 6 more days. There should be a big update, and
cool.
Fields of Mystery should get it. Yeah, 'cause that game was a ton of fun. If you like Stardew Valley, Fields of Mystery is in early access. Totally worth it, but you'll get bored quick. It took me about a week of playing, and I mean I was playing quite a bit before I kind of got through everything. It was just I've been waiting for an update because I kind of got to where I just needed more of the game. But it's cool. A lot of quality of life stuff that Stardew should have and doesn't is really nice. Get into the gaming news then. Yeah, I'll let you lead that. Mario Day.
Yes.
Which was nothing.
They psyched us out. It's March 10th or Mario Day. And I, as far as I'm aware, this is the first year that Nintendo acknowledged it. And so,
no, they've definitely done Mario Day before.
Oh, okay. It's the first time I've noticed it. And so I opened Twitter and they're like, Mario Day, and they had all this big like post, and I got so excited because I thought maybe they're announcing a new game. They didn't.
Right.
They had like
which is a really weird choice with the Switch 2 being announced.
They have like a Lego Mario Kart collab.
Yeah. But like a real, that would be really cool in game. That would be a great game.
Yeah.
Lego, was it Lego Racing?
Mm-hmm.
So Lego Mario Kart Racing would be, I would buy that game for sure. But no, it's like real Legos and then remote control, like Mario Kart thing. Some things online. Nintendo Switch Online Game Boy has official Donkey Kong and Mario Picross.
Okay.
I think a few other things too, but I mean like nothing game changing. Nintendo announced that the Super Mario Bros. 3 original soundtrack has been added to the Nintendo Music application.
Yay.
I know you've all been dying to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it. Bunch of like weird, there's some really cool fan art that was shared, and that's that's Mario Day. I would have loved, I'm still waiting for it, and Nintendo will never do it. But if I could get like Mario Odyssey 2 would be cool. I'd be fine with that. That's probably more realistic. Or a Super Mario Sunshine 2.
Mm-hmm.
I need Mario to have a gun again. And a jetpack. Jetpack and a gun is what Mario needs.
The Mario Lorian. He's just flying around collecting bounties. Koopas.
Did you ever play Sunshine?
Yeah.
I love Sunshine. It was so funny because like that came out and Sonic or Shadow the Hedgehog came out around the same time. I think Mario came out a little bit before, but it was just this concept of like, we need to give these characters a gun. And Sega was like, yeah, we'll give it to a different character that looks exactly the same. And we'll just give him a gun and it'll be cool. And Mario, they're like, we're going to use our flagship character and it'll be a water gun. So it's totally okay. But it's like, he literally has a gun and a jetpack and it's great.
That's pretty funny. I actually started replaying that maybe 2 months ago, and I just stopped. Okay. I was having fun, but then I think I got Dying Light 2 on sale, so I just stopped playing Dying Light. But
yeah, it is a little outdated. Even like I think they did a remake, didn't they? And it was still kind of clunky a little bit.
Yeah,
from what I understood. So a Sunshine 2. My thing with Mario Odyssey is I think it would have been really cool to make it kind of a Smash Bros. Situation, and that like Mario was going to all these different kingdoms. There's 2 things that I wish Mario Odyssey would have done that would have been cool. I would have loved if they would have just spent a bunch of worlds as DLCs that were just like really like weird, like Hyrule. Yeah. And then you're playing Mario in a Hyrule themed Mario map. I think would have been really cool. or Kirby or whatever, and just have the gimmicks of like the hat taking over these characters and doing whatever. I think the other thing that they teased and would have been such a flex, and I don't think would have been that difficult for them to do, is to have put Super Mario 64 in Super Mario Odyssey. Some big spoilers, but you can go through like a portal somewhere, and you can get like to the back end of the castle. I think you might be able to go around the outside of the castle. I can't remember. In Mario Odyssey. And I was like, if you could go into those like worlds in the castle and use the hat on like characters in there and just recreated all those levels, it would have been
that
it
would
would
have
been
been
pretty
cool.
epic.
That would have been cool.
I don't think it would have been a ton of work. It probably would have been a little bit, but it would have been a flex. It made the best Mario game of all time if they did that.
I know.
Come on, Nintendo.
I need to finish Odyssey. I borrowed it from someone and then they wanted it back and I never got to finish it. And it's just been too expensive for me to pull.
Sorry for the spoilers.
No, you're good. I won't remember them.
I beat Mario Odyssey in a single day.
That's impressive.
Yeah. I had nothing else to do. And I had my wife, so you can get a Joy-Con out and the Joy-Con can be Cappy and move around and collect things for you.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. And so, or I think you can like you can put Cappy out and use Cappy as like a ledge. So you can use it to jump on things.
That's cool.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So together we just like demolished the game super fast. It had a lot of cool end game stuff, but I would think instead of the end game stuff that they had, just throw it in Mario 64 would have been better.
Yeah, but it's Nintendo. They couldn't give us too much. Just enough.
Yeah. Fun game though. I think probably one of my favorite Mario games in a long time. Go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so moving on to something that I'm really excited about. Battlefield 6 had a early access private gameplay session. And they're using a new thing called Battlefield Labs, so anyone can sign up for it. And then they'll randomly select you and you sign an NDA and they put you into a server and you play the game. But someone decided to sacrifice themselves and just stream gameplay on Twitch and didn't try to hide their gamer tag because it pops up all over the screen the whole time. But yeah, so they basically put a hit list on themselves so we could have gameplay footage. And EA left it up. They just said, okay, well, I guess it's leaked now, so why fight it? And so they left it up. It looks really good. I'm a huge Battlefield fan. I put way too many hours in Battlefield 3 and 4. I quit playing super heavy with Battlefield 1 and 5 because I just didn't like the World War I, World War II settings. It just wasn't my thing. Mm-hmm. But the modern combat Battlefields, I put way too many hours in. I don't know how many hours I have in them because I've owned it on 3 different systems. So I owned it on 360 and then Xbox One and then PC, and I never kept count. But the leaks look good. It's super modern. Looks like Battlefield 4. It has Battlefield 3 music. It's fully destructible environment. So like at one point, this tank is driving down the street and it kind of boosts a little bit and hits a car and ramps off the car, just like crushes through the side of a building and lands back down on the street. Someone is shooting out of a window at someone and this guy pulls out a rocket launcher, just shoots to the side of the building. The whole side of the building collapses in real time. You can drag people around. So if your teammate gets down, you can just kind of grab them and drag them, which is a new feature. The guns look really good. They added real recoil in the game, so each gun's different, and so it's not like like Battlefield 2042. They did this like fake recoil, so it's just a visual, and so like it didn't matter if you tried to control it, you couldn't. It took a lot of the skill out of the game. But they added it back, and looks like it's refined. I think from what it looks like, they added physical bullets back to the game. So I think Battlefield 4 was the last game that had that, where your gun's actually firing projectiles. And so it makes a big difference in gunplay because you can actually learn the guns better. And I think the rest was simulated. I may be misquoting it, but I believe that's what I read. They did a press release after the leaks talking about what people were seeing. The classes are back. So 2042 had heroes, and so everyone was playing the same characters, even on the opposite teams, and everyone looked the same. So you would be like trying to figure out who's the bad guy, but it's just the same person you're playing, and they're like shooting at you.
Yeah,
It was really weird. So the soldiers don't even have faces. They're all wearing balaclavas, and so there's nothing.
Okay.
Like they're like no faces. Everyone's the same thing. Like there's classes look different. So they brought the class system back. So like an engineer has a little bit different gear on than like the Salt class. So the Salt class has got like lighter armor. He's got less gear on, so he can run around faster. The sniper's a little bit different. Like the recon class, but yeah, it looks good. It's I'm excited. It kind of feels like they're adding a lot of milsim stuff to it, but like balancing it out so it's still fun and not, a PTSD simulator. But
nice. That's super cool. I haven't played one in a long time. I'm willing to check this out for sure.
Yeah, I'm hoping, fingers crossed. I pre-ordered 2042 and was super excited. My lovely wife bought me the $120 edition for my birthday because it launched like right around my birthday, and it was a flop. It was not great. I was so excited, and she surprised me with the pre-order, and then I got it, and I think I put 10 hours into it. So it's rough.
An update on the Stardew Valley stuff because I was curious. There is a Shockbite is a website. You can get a server. It's $6 a month for 6 players, or $12.99 for 14 players, which I find interesting because I thought you can only have 8 players on a server.
Maybe it's a custom server.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, I mean, if they have a mod already in place that allows, that would make sense. Or you can do $20 a month for 28 players, which is crazy. There was like an open source server, but I think that's kind of the same situation that I was thinking of like having my computer open to allow people to play at the same time as me. Interesting stuff. Anyways, we go to our Death Stranding 2 trailer.
Yeah. It's kind of psychedelic, I guess. Like I don't know how to describe it. It's
Kojima.
It's a fever dream.
Yeah.
Snake makes a cameo? Not really, but there's definitely some Metal Gear. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a guy that
I don't understand.
Definitely is a Solid Snake. He even has the bandana and he like ties it. And like, you can't see his face. He's kind of got the hair hanging over it. And he like looks up and he's all like serious. And yeah.
Yeah, I tried playing Death Stranding and I couldn't do it. You said you got about 30 hours in, and apparently it gets better after 30 hours. But if I have to play 30 hours of a game to like it, I'm probably not going to like it.
Yeah, like I was saying before we started recording, it's kind of like that meme with the diamond miners. Like the one person gives up and he's like really close, and the other person's still digging. I gave up, and then my uncle was like, "Hey, I got like 35 hours in," and then the game suddenly opens up, and it's like all this crazy stuff, and he's like, "It's the best game I've ever played." And like I got 30 hours in, and I could not get to that point, so I gave up. I got tired of hauling packages on my back and then dumping them off and then getting attacked by ghosts. And I'm like, I can't do anything about this. I don't even have a gun.
Yeah. I don't know. Some games are not going to be for me, I guess. I'll watch the movie. Kojima's making like a whole studio. I'm hoping he makes a Death Stranding movie.
Yeah. It'll be good.
He might not. Knowing him, he might be like, nah, you got to play the game if you want that experience.
Yeah.
It's a masterpiece with the gameplay. I'll never know.
Same.
The story looks very intriguing. I'm very like, this seems really cool, but I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's like some kind of mass event happened, and like this might be a slight spoiler, but I don't really know because it's how far I got into the game, but it's not really the game didn't I don't know. But it's like people's souls, like those are souls that are like attacking you, but they're like trapped, almost like purgatory. I don't know. I'm butchering it because
Why do they want your FedEx packages?
I don't know. And I'm like sitting there going, I don't understand what's happening. I'm not even that far into the story to understand.
Yeah, it's an interesting game. I'm sure it's very cerebral and smart, and I'm just not. But it wasn't for me.
Maybe we're not smart enough.
Yeah, it's what it is. Yeah.
You have to have an IQ.
Game's just too intelligent.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the free time of someone unemployed.
Yeah. That is your employment. You now work for Kojima to deliver his packages.
That's true. Gotta deliver the packages.
That's a new conspiracy.
I'm sure I offended somebody there.
Oops.
Did you watch any movies this week?
No.
So I didn't either until today. I was like, I didn't need to watch a movie. I need to watch a movie for the podcast. And so then I just like looked up best Viking movies. And for what, I don't know. I like Viking stuff. And I was lied to. I got the movie that I got was called Outlander. And I know you're probably like, that's a TV show full of nudity. I'm not talking about the TV show Outlander. There's a movie from 2009 called Outlander, starring Jim Caviezel.
Okay.
Who else? Hurt. I can't remember his first name. The War Doctor. Jim Hurt? John Hurt?
John Hurt.
John Hurt. Yeah. Ron Perlman.
Okay.
Which I feel like Ron Perlman tells you everything you need to know. If Ron Perlman's in a Viking movie, it's gonna be ridiculous.
Yeah. Why is Hellboy?
Sophia Myles. Yeah. I think that's probably the only real role that I was like, man, he really fits this role well. Ron Perlman, like, he does a great job at doing what he does, but it's just like, you know, it's Perlman when you watching it. Like, it's just, he's one of those actors where he's playing the same thing almost everything. And he plays a very specific, like, rated movie, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's got that B movie feeling. But anyways, yeah, no, this movie is like Jim Caviezel plays Kanan, who is an alien from outer space.
Okay.
And he's running away from another alien called a Meerwood. No, that's not right. Something like that. A Morwen. And his ship lands in 708 in Norway. And so he learns the language through a little computer thing in his eye. And then he gets imprisoned by a Viking tribe, rallies all of them to fight the Meerwood, or the Morwen. And then, you know, they triumph at the end because it's a movie. You know, they got to triumph at the end. Ron Perlman plays this, like, it's another village, and they're like, it's shifted of another village, and they're like, think that like they were attacked by the village that he's in, and so they come for revenge. And Ron Perlman's so hilarious to me in the movie because he does this Viking or this pirate accent, like a very R-matey accent for the Vikings. I don't know why. Everyone else has got kind of like a British thing going on, and I think it's just Ron Perlman's British. But he sounds like a pirate the whole time, and I loved it so much. But 2008, not 2009, sorry. The only thing that was really wrong with this movie was the CGI.
So,
like, the writing's fun. It's really cheesy. It's totally a B movie, but
I'm looking at the Rotten Tomatoes, the critics review. This one is a 2 out of 5. It says Beowulf with aliens and lots of gore and violence. That sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah, it was great.
A mead hall party feels like an Iron Age version of Cheers.
Yeah. Yeah, they do this thing called shields, and they all put their shields up, and they like walk along the shields around the table. And I think it's kind of where it lost me for a minute is he's like, oh, you could do that. Can you do this? And he does like a front flip on the shields. Like people are holding above their heads. And so then Kanan's like, I could do that. He does a front flip as well. And then they're like, respect. They don't say that, but basically they get the nod. And
we are now deep, deep, deep into nerd territory. So deep you'll get a nosebleed.
Yeah. I'm saying, I think it needs a remake. I think we need to do this again. I think it needs, a full budget. As much of a budget as Cowboy and Aliens, I think, is fair. Right?
Okay.
Cowboys versus Aliens was great. But I don't know. I looked up like best Viking movies, and this was one of the things that came up in Google search. I've never heard of it before. Didn't know it existed.
I need to watch it.
$4 on Amazon.
Okay.
And I think it was worth it. I think it was worth the $4 if you're really bored.
Yeah, it seems like a good time to me.
Yeah. It runs a little long. I will say that was one thing that bugged me is there was a part where like you'll see it when you get there. The movie should have just ended there. And it doesn't. The alien escapes and they're like, oh, I gotta go get it again. And I'm like, yeah, you probably could have. You probably were okay there.
It definitely looks like an early 2000s movie.
Yeah.
I miss that look.
It reminds me a little bit of the that dragon movie with is it Christian Bale?
Yeah.
Where they're in the future.
Oh my gosh, what's that movie called?
I'm trying to think who else is in it too.
Dragon movie with Christian Bale was a Google search. Rain of Fire.
Rain of Fire, yeah. It has Rain of Fire vibes. But anyways, that's what I watched. I don't know if I can recommend it or not. Don't listen to me.
Honestly, almost has the same Rotten Tomatoes score as Rain of Fire. Both
I might go watch Rain of Fire next.
They're like sitting both around 40%. The audience score for Rain of Fire is 49%.
It became like a cult classic.
Yeah. I always thought
people got really into it.
I started watching it and then I fell asleep, but it's because I started so late. It's not because it's a bad movie, but at the same time, I don't remember it. I didn't even know Matthew McConaughey
that movie
was
that was it. Matthew McConaughey was the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, I like look at that cast and it's like, what were they doing making this movie? Like, did everyone just get bored? I don't.
Money.
We're on a tangent here, but I just want to read this like synopsis. Present day London. 12-year-old Quinn watches his mother wakes an enormous fire-breathing beast from its centuries-long slumber. 20 years later, much of the world has been scarred by the beast and its offspring. And this is like a medieval dragon. As a fire chief, Quinn, Christian Bale, is responsible for warding off the beasts and keeping a community alive as they eke out a meager existence. In their midst comes a hotshot American, Van Zandt, played by Matthew McConaughey, as he has a way to kill the beasts. And yeah, it's like modern day, but it's not modern day because everything's destroyed by the dragons, and it's a bad movie. Matthew McConaughey with a shaved head. That's a good look for him.
Yeah.
Surprised he didn't do more movies like that. I mean, he's got great hair. Why would you shave your head with hair like that? But
2002.
definitely same vibes.
Mm-hmm.
I want more aliens versus things. Predator is kind of getting that on lock with Prey. Prey was really good. Like, I would do a Predator versus Vikings. I think Predator versus a bunch of pirates on a pirate ship would be really good.
Yeah.
Just like one by one, old school horror.
I really want to see Predator versus Samurais. Like,
yes,
they land in
Predator
feudal
versus
Japan.
Samurais would be good.
Yeah. Like, they land in feudal Japan.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be sweet.
Like Predator versus the Ronin.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, they have no masters, nothing to live for, and they're just out there
I think
killing predators. Yeah, I think all of those would be good. There's also, I can't remember. We're on such a tangent. It's fine. I can't remember the history of it, but a pirate, I think it's a pirate, a samurai, and a cowboy could all exist in the same time era. It's like give or take 30 years. We had this conversation on the podcast already.
Maybe.
I'm like, I definitely have. I just don't know if I have with you. But they can all exist in the same like era. It's like a 30-year window. And I'm like, why don't we have that movie of cowboys, pirates, and samurais like fighting together?
Good. Pirates, samurai, and cowboys.
I think you have to have like a very old pirate, I think is what it is.
Okay. Cowboys. The cowboy era began in 1860. Samurais lost all privileges in 1868. So yes, there was a point where cowboys and samurais did exist. So,
I mean, it's kind of like The Last Samurai, isn't that his? Isn't he like? It's not quite cowboy, but Civil War era military. I haven't watched The Last Samurai in a long time.
yes, it was
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, let me look up the timeline. 1870s. So yeah,
Yep.
great movie.
Just needed pirates.
People, for some reason, have gotten confused with the fact that Tom Cruise was not the last samurai. The last samurai was the samurai clan leader that trained him. But for some reason, people are like, "Oh, he's the last samurai."
I haven't seen that movie in a long time.
Yeah, there was a whole thing on TikTok where people are upset that Tom Cruise was the last samurai.
The last samurai. They made it the white guy. Yeah.
Yeah, like no, that's not the story. Please rewatch the film.
I probably should know that movie a little bit better. I literally have like his samurai sword. It's replica like above my TV.
Yeah.
I know nothing about that movie.
It's such a good movie.
We can get into the movie news, everyone. I feel like that was more exciting than the news. We have a trailer for Snow White, and I know some people care about it. I haven't watched a Disney remake live action in a while. I think The Little Mermaid came out. I didn't check that out. The new Lion King, Mufasa, and then the Snow White. I don't know. Like the live action, I'm like the animated are good. I would rather just go watch the animated stuff.
Are you telling me you're not excited for the remake of Moana?
No.
I mean, come on. It's got The Rock in a muscle
and that was
suit.
a weird one too. The Rock in a muscle suit's ridiculous.
I know. It's so
That's another
bad.
one that I'm like, why do we have Moana getting? That seems fast. I will say I'm intrigued. Not gonna watch it necessarily, but I am intrigued by the Lilo and Stitch remake.
Yeah.
I wish it was a different story. I wish it wasn't a remake. Like, I want all these kid things to have grown up with me, and I just know that's never going to happen, but I just want that so much.
Mm-hmm.
So if I could
Yeah.
have like a Stitch with a grown Lilo and they're like out fighting aliens, and like I'm down for that. That would be great. Give me a PG-13. It doesn't have to be rated R. I would be all for that. You'd be like, oh, wasn't this a kid show? Yeah. You can go watch the cartoon. Show your kids that when they grow up, you can watch the live action thing.
Yeah, so
Granted, I don't need like a PG-13 Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. But Maleficent was good. No, I'm on this. Maleficent was PG, I think, but it felt very PG-13-esque.
I agree. It was breaking that
Edgier.
line. Yeah.
Yeah. So I stand by what I was say. Give me the PG-13 versions. Let the kid stuff grow up with me.
But you are getting the rated R versions with the horror movies of all the old
That's true.
Disney,
Yeah.
Disney
Steamboat
films.
Willie. Winnie the Pooh.
They're currently working on a Bambi horror film. I didn't watch the trailer yet, but I did see it.
I think I remember hearing about it. He's going after the guy who shot his dad.
Yeah.
It's so silly.
And he's got like big gnarly looking teeth too.
That's been my like biggest complaint with Pokemon. And I think Pokemon should have a place as a kid's thing forever. That's fine. But like I would love some Pokemon stuff for the older generations. Pokemon Origins kind of tiptoed into that a little bit. I don't know if you've seen Pokemon Origins, but it's a great Pokemon short. It's not a short. It's like a mini series, I guess you'd call it. I think it's 8 episodes. Might even be 3 episodes. But it's about Pokemon Red.
Okay.
And so it's about red and blue. And it's like Squirtle bites on a Charmander or vice versa. And like the Pokemon screams. And you're like, oh, this is like, whoa, what's happening? It's not like, it's what I want. It's like, I don't need to be like overly edgy. It just feels a little bit more like raw. And I think Pokemon could make really great like teenage animes instead of being a kid show.
Yeah,
No,
I
we
could
could do kid show stuff, but
I could see that. So the trailer came out 3 days ago, but it's called Bambi: The Reckoning.
Can't be the reckoning. Well, there you go. This is not what I want. Hollywood doesn't know what I want.
To be fair, it's not even Hollywood. This is like a super indie film.
Yeah.
Self-funded. They filmed it in like 3 weeks.
That's crazy.
So
there is a fight in the Pokemon series with a Greninja, and it's actually Greninja against something, and it's kind of like they just took the choreography in like a Naruto episode, and Greninja is like going all around and jumping off of things and being like super cool, and I'm like, what? It should just be this. This should be the show. I don't need a rated R Pokemon. Pokemon could be rated R. Like,
speaking
a Charizard going off would be scary.
Corridor Digital just did a video where it's almost like a
I haven't
horror
seen it yet.
but they're like playing with a Pokeball.
Hypnosis,
or
right?
Maybe.
Or Hypno? What's his name? Let's talk about something else.
It's Corridor Digital. It's called the world's largest Pokeball.
Okay, not the same thing. I'll have to watch that. There was another one.
They're like basically going around like grabbing stuff inside the Pokeball randomly.
Okay.
And it just gets out of hand, so it like gets super big.
What was the one I'm talking about? I haven't seen it, but it was also, I think you'd probably really like it. It was like, oh, is it called Pokemon Dark Edition? No, I'll have to find it. It was basically like it was a Hypno or whatever his name is that does the Drowsy. It was a Drowsy. And it was like them going into a Drowsy's cave, and it was like he was putting him to sleep and stuff. I didn't actually watch the whole thing, but it looked really interesting. I didn't know Corridor Digital was still doing stuff.
Yeah, they do a lot on Corridor Crew, and so they do a lot of like VFX reacts.
Okay, it's called Pokemon Dark, Drowsy's Den. And that's all I can tell you. I don't know if it's good or not. Anyways. That's how we feel about Snow White.
We don't even talk about it. Thunderbolts.
Do you have any?
No, I don't have anything else to add to that.
Cool. Yeah. The next trailer we have is from Thunderbolts, but it's like they're calling it the A21 trailer, and it's literally a highlight of all the people that have worked on A21 films that are working on the Thunderbolts movie.
So I've got an embarrassing update.
Okay.
We've been calling it A21. I just found out it's A24.
No, I hate that I do that. Oh no.
I was like, yeah, A21. And then I looked up the Green Knight and it said A24. I was like, oh no.
That's okay. I can spin this. We're a Christian podcast. A21 is a wonderful organization that fights sex trafficking.
That's a good spin.
Yeah, that's true. And I always mess up A24 because of A21. Constantly. So everyone's probably like, what are you talking about? I hope A21's still in business. Now I gotta look up A21. We're not gonna get on track for anything. My church in Denver, Red Rocks Church, was part of the A21 network. Did a really cool thing, and then we will get into the trailer. We will talk about the trailer, I promise. So Red Rocks Church, in partnership with A21, bought a building in the red light district of India, like right in the middle of all of the human trafficking stuff and prostitution and stuff, and turned it into like a safe haven. Like you could get yourself into that building. You could they would get you out basically. Wow, yeah, really cool. So A24, yeah, I liked Everything Everywhere All at Once. I think that's a great movie from A24. I want to say it over and over so I don't remember it. But it's like cinematography from The Green Knight, and you haven't seen The Green Knight. I have. So two things. It's nothing like the trailer portrays it. So the Green Knight trailer looks really good. And then you watch the movie, and it's not at all what they're advertising. It is very focused on the cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a point in the movie, and the movie's very slow paced. It's a little gross a lot of the times. Yeah, I won't go further than that. It's gross. But there's a part where they take a camera, and it looks like they took the camera and put it on a swivel and just spun it as fast as they could, and the camera just spins. And I literally got nauseous in my seat watching it, and I'm sure that was on purpose, but it was terrible, and I don't want to get sick while watching a movie.
Yeah, so I haven't watched it yet. I've seen pieces of it. It's actually on my list. Because it's a very I think surrealistic is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yes. It's just takes a lot of inspiration from works of art and just paintings, and then it's just very trying to be tapping into the unconscious mind to express itself, So I really like it. It's very dreamlike.
I love the beginning of it. It's water dripping, and the way that the water drips and the noise stands throughout a really long scene. And I was like, I love this. This is so cool. And then about 20 minutes of that, I'm like, I hate this. But
Um,
just not for me. I think I could see how a lot of people would really like, especially if they know what they're looking at. Cinematography, like
so
what
is
is
it
it?
the same director? Is it a
No, same cinematographer.
Yeah, but I was trying to see if he did A24, like a A20. I don't know. He just the director and the way it's cut, the trailer, it looks like an A24 film. So I didn't know if there's a
Yeah.
crossover other than the cinematographer, but
Oh yeah. So here, hold on. Stars of Midsummer, A Different Man, and You Hurt My Feelings. Draw A24 films. Cinematographer of The Green Knight. The writers and directors of Beef. I don't know what Beef is. I'm assuming an A24 film. And then the music composition from Everything Everywhere All at Once. So a ton of A24 creators.
this might be the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think making the movie, it's weird because like A24 isn't supposed to have its own vibe. It definitely does, in my opinion. But
Mm-hmm.
A24 is like a bunch of it's supposed to be like an independent studio, and so they pick up independent directors, they pick up independent films, and kind of bring them under the A24 like umbrella. So I'm really curious if it'll have that A24 vibe, or if it'll just feel a little bit like, will it feel like an independent film? Because a Marvel independent film sounds really cool. It probably really needed, like you said, uh, in the Marvel like universe. Everything's so highly produced. It'd be really cool to get kind of that more indie feel to it.
Yeah.
But a lot of a lot of the people on A24 are really famous actors or really famous directors that are just wanting to do something kind of off the wall. And so they're not necessarily like independent directors or independent actors. They just make an independent film.
Yeah. A24 is interesting because they there's quite a few directors that get their start there.
Mhm.
They it's weird because it's a goal to pitch something to them for me and my wife. That's like we like a lot of their films.
Nice.
But it's weird because you can directly pitch stuff to them, but a lot of it is they just go to like, the big film festivals and they shop like at South by Southwest. They shop at like Sundance and stuff like that. And so
Okay.
um, it doesn't have to be winners either. Like it could straight up just be like they see a film and they go, "Hey, this should have won. This is a really good film," and they'll buy it for distribution.
And then
Um,
distribute it.
mm, they're starting to look for bigger budget stuff though. They're starting to get away. Like they still want to do the indie stuff, but they're wanting to get into franchises, which is really weird to me. Um,
Yeah, that seems away from what they do.
yeah, but they announced that recently, so I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think A24, and I think less of the Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I loved, and more of the Green Knight and that weird movie with the sheep boy.
Mm,
Can't remember his name. You know what I'm talking about?
I
They
think
raise a sheep.
so.
The sheep turns into a human.
I vaguely remember that. Yeah.
That's what I think of when I think A24. But yeah, no, I'm so excited for the trailer or for the movie. I'm much more confused at what this movie's going to be now that I've seen this trailer, though, for sure.
Yeah. Same.
That said, check out A21. It was all a ploy. If you look at A21, you gotta look up A21 human trafficking to really get their organization. Totally on purpose. No, totally kidding. It's so funny that I did that. It's even in the notes. A24. Uh, we'll get into the TV. You been watching Severance still?
We are 3 episodes into season 2 now, and
Okay.
we still have no idea what's going on. It is a very it's done really well. There's an ongoing mystery. I don't want to spoil it, but there's this ongoing mystery that um is starting to piece itself together a little bit, but not really.
Okay.
So, trying to think. So the motto from the first episode, which is a non-spoiler, is that the work they do is mysterious and important. So that is a motto for the company.
Okay.
It's
Mysterious and
so
important.
Yep. And so so there's all these different departments, and no one knows what they do or what anyone else does.
Hmm.
So that's the mystery.
Okay.
And so it's very it's also surrealistic, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. um, where it just feels like a fever dream the whole time because that's what they're experiencing, and they're like trying to piece together what's happening, and like nothing really makes sense. And it's starting, the puzzle pieces are fitting together now into season 2, but barely.
It's gonna be like Lost. You're gonna have more questions than you have
Yeah, it's like
answers.
a 9,000 piece puzzle, and you just randomly find 2 pieces that match out of the pile of mismatches, and
Okay.
you're like, oh,
I mean, it
okay,
seems
okay,
cool.
yeah. So it's good. Really good writing, really good acting.
Sounds like something my
Cinematography.
wife would really love.
Yeah, the cinematography is very unique. So they do a lot with the in-camera effects. So there's like times where they'll use a lens that's got a lot of chromatic aberration, so like little bitty edges of blue and orange, and it's actually a
Hmm.
defect in the lens, but it means something in the
Oh, cool.
story. And then like there's times where it's super sterile looking, and so you're like watching it and you're like, oh, okay, so this is like reality, this is actually what's happening. And then it starts like the stuff will start changing in the next scene, and you're like, okay, so they're starting to like break reality a little bit, like they're not really understanding what's happening. And so it's like it
Oh,
plays
okay.
with that a lot. It's really cool. They just uploaded a lo-fi playlist on the Apple TV YouTube channel, and it's kind of canon to the show, and it's just this loop
Okay.
of them working, but then there's like Easter eggs that get dropped. It's 8 hours, so it's a full work day. And so when you start it, they clock in, and then at the end of the playlist, they clock out.
Wow.
And so there's like little bitty Easter eggs of stuff happening that isn't spoilers, but they tie into things that have happened or that are going to happen. So like they don't make sense because they're all out of context. But then you're like seeing stuff, and yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's wild. That's cool. I love when you get different mediums like that.
Mm.
I'm super excited for you to pick apart the cinematography of Daredevil. Um, Daredevil. So we kind of talked beforehand about the original hallway scene, and I won't go farther into that. I think that'll probably be better to talk about off of podcast. Anyways, but they're doing a thing where he's like focusing now in this season that I think you'll really love, where they change the ratio of the TV of what you're watching, and so it will full screen your TV, and then it will like narrow strip, like
Mm.
almost a comic book strip on what he's focusing on. And so you've got like the little black strips at the top and the bottom of the TV like normal while you're watching the show most of the time. And then when something happens, it'll like full screen real fast. And
That's
then
cool.
just like, yeah, like narrow down what he's listening to. Um, and they said 3 different cameras to do that, that are filming it.
Mm.
And they have to like clip the 3 different cameras together to make it like flow into one fluid scene.
That's really cool. I know that's kind of a similar tech to what they used on 300. So like when they
Okay.
do the zooming effect on the fight scenes, it was 3
Yeah.
cameras. So it's
Huh.
really cool.
Yeah. That's neat. Yeah, I think you'll really enjoy that. That's what I've been watching is Daredevil, and Invincible. We'll get into Invincible a little bit too. But Daredevil, I think a lot of people are going to find it a little slow. Not that Daredevil was super fast paced in the first place on Netflix, but you're not seeing a whole lot of Daredevil in these first 2 episodes, at least. Um, it's a lot of setup, but the writing is so good. Charlie Cox is just so good at playing Matt Murdock. Um, and there's a lot of things going into play that I'm really excited about to see. It's very surprising to me that this is a Disney Plus show. I read a thing, and I don't know if I read it correctly, but I guess Kevin Feige, he was running all of Marvel, not just MCU, for a while, and he like wasn't in charge of the MCU. Like he was above that, and he's taken back the reins of the MCU, and that's why Daredevil had like 4 episodes filmed and like ready to release, and they scrapped it all and redid it all. Was Kevin Feige deciding that like it needed to be redone?
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. I read that somewhere, but it would make a lot of sense if like Kevin Feige has full reins on it, because it doesn't feel anything like a Disney Plus show so far to me. It's like that dark, edgy, feels very Netflix. It's weird to have a Disney like logo on this thing.
I have to look something up. So I'm a camera nerd, and so I'm looking at the camera, like just a screenshot. So I looked up the 3 camera thing, and I believe the original Netflix series, yeah. So they used a Red camera, the brand Red, which is really expensive cinema camera. At one point, the starter price was $50,000, and it's a brick with nothing on it. And so to get it to work, you have to buy like an adapter for a battery. You had to buy a mount, and it used SSDs that were called mags, and they were proprietary, and they were
Oh,
like
geez.
$200. Yeah, they were super expensive. And so that's why it has like almost like a grit to it, and then um, like it has a very distinct texture, I guess is the way I would put it.
Okay.
And then the Born Again, it looks really good. I'm looking at some screenshots, but it's a little softer, like something about it. And I'm pretty sure they are using the RE ES. Looks like they. Nope, that's the Ben Affleck film. Hang on.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Its own ball
so
game.
it looks like from the behind the scenes of the new show, they're using the RE cameras, which they're a little bit softer. They have a different image. They're like really popular. Like they used them on Dune.
Okay.
And I mean they pretty much use them on most big productions. Most Marvel films use them.
So crazy to me that cameras can get to $50,000, and it's like
Yeah.
there's such a little difference to me from like an untrained eye between like an $800 camera and a $1,200 camera. So
So
for there to be $50,000 worth of camera gear, I mean that's just the camera, like you said, just the box.
mhm.
Red Rocks Church would use, I think they were $30,000 at the time, cameras. They were Blackmagic cameras, and they would just rent them. They said they're like, yeah, we just it's a couple $100 for a day or whatever, and they would film all of their stuff on really expensive cameras, but they wouldn't buy them. So like, that'll be outdated in like 5 years.
So the Arri Alexa LF, which is the large format which they use for Dune, so they could do the essentially do the IMAX, $102,000. The Alexa 35, which is I think what they're using for Daredevil Born Again, is $86,000.
That's wild.
But they have a very very good image, and the amount of data they record, it basically means they can do all this stuff in post. So all the color, the image is basically, to put it in simplified terms, it's in RAW, and so it looks like black and white because it's retaining all this data, right? And so they can fix so much stuff after they get done shooting if they miss it.
That's cool.
But yeah, sorry, it's a bit of a tangent because it's really cool
No,
to
you're
see
good.
the tech change.
They can take their coffee cup out of the Game of Thrones episode.
Which I think those used REs too. I'm not sure which ones. I think those were the
Yeah, that's
Alexa.
nuts.
But
I remember at Church, I got to hold one of the cameras, and I was like, they're like, "Do you want to hold it?" And I was like, "I really am kind of nervous to." And so he's like, "Oh, it's not that big deal." He's like, "Just take it." And I take this rig, and he's like, "Yeah, the camera alone's $30,000." And I was like, you can have that back."
yep. So this is a bit of a tangent that you'll find interesting, that maybe the audience will find interesting. So Life Church Media is working on an Easter
Okay.
cinematic, and I think the camera rig they're using might cost more than what I'm about to pay for a house.
Yeah, it's wild.
So
But again, most
they're
likely renting it, right?
yeah. So they're
Yeah.
yes, because the dolly system they have is so expensive. You don't buy them, you rent them. And so you
Yeah,
just
okay.
do long-term leases on them. And so one of the production houses I worked for, we had one. And I don't want to say how much they rented it for, but it was a lot. And I was like, "So how much did you buy this for?" And they're like, "We can't buy it. You can't buy it because they're so expensive that insurance companies for production houses won't insure them. And
Oh
so
yeah,
you
yeah.
rent it and they'll give you renter's insurance to cover it.
Okay.
So there's a cap. And so you rent it for the cap. And so you basically have a long-term lease on it. And yeah, but they're using I'm waiting on confirmation, but I'm pretty sure they're using a RE as well for that. Um,
Oh,
I'm like
that's so
I'm
wild.
like texting any contact I have. I'm like, I have to know what this is.
Yeah,
But
super wild.
I'm like, I have to know. Tell me.
The other show that to move on, it was Invincible, and I'm not super far in Invincible season 3. I think is what we're in. But it's true to form. It's been really good so far. There's not a whole lot to add to it. If you watch the first 2 seasons, I think you know what to expect from the third season. Um, but it's really cool to watch that show progress. Um, I'm excited to see more. And we'll get into the TV news. We got 2 things. First one I think is kind of cool. We got a Green Lantern first look. It was actually a couple weeks ago and I missed it. Um, the Green Lantern show is kind of a buddy cop detective thing, which I think is weird. Detective drama inspired by shows like True Detective and Slow Horses. I've never heard of Slow Horses. Um, Chandler and Pierre. I don't know. Kyle Chandler and Aaron Pierre as Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. And I know that this will be in the DCU universe, which has me interested. James Gunn says it's going to be very like adult and weird. So I assume more Peacemaker, which I'm comfortable with once. I don't know how many shows I need like the Peacemaker.
Yeah,
So we'll see how it goes. And
I
maybe it's nothing
agree.
like Peacemaker, but yeah, I that's not all the TV shows that I need to be watching. To me, like I'd rather a Daredevil over a Peacemaker any day.
I agree.
And then the other last thing, it's canceled. It's not really news, but it was leaked. The Powerpuff Girls live action from the CW is exactly what you thought it would be. It's terrible. It's so bad.
What gets me is the green screen. They're like suspended and then they're not moving and they're at an angle, but the background's like rotating around them. And so
Yeah.
it's like super fake looking.
It looks like it was supposed to be cheesy on purpose. Like, oh, what's his name that played Turk in Scrubs? Uh, Donald Faison. He plays the doctor, the professor,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
like he's got a real cheesiness to like the way that he's acting that I feel like they were kind of like they knew what they were doing, and I think that was the vibe. Like they wanted it to be bad, and thought that would just be like fun, and it's probably for the best it got canceled. Bubbles is like drunk. She's like, oh yeah, she's been drinking too much, and she's just like out on Hollywood
Yeah.
Boulevard. Uh, one of them's a firefighter, police officer. Buttercup is.
Yeah, I think he's a police officer.
Police officer makes sense.
I think. Yeah.
I would be okay with watching an episode of that. I wish we should get the whole episode. Don't need a show. Don't need to watch the whole show. But I'd watch an episode of it. It reminds me a little bit, even though like the drinking and stuff is ridiculous. It reminds me of those like Cartoon Network movies they would make of like Ben 10 and
yeah.
I can't remember what else. There were a bunch of movies for a little bit that were coming out. They were just like super cheesy Cartoon Network live action movies. Same vibes. But that is all the news. I need to go take some more allergy medications, I think. Crashing hard. You can get out about anything else this week?
I'm not.
No.
Unfortunately.
Well, I'm excited to see what you think about Daredevil, so watch that this week, hopefully.
All right.
Yeah. Where can they find you at?
You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Different Lens Media.
You can find me on Instagram at Cody Armour. Keep gaming, keep praying, and God bless.